Before I swap to the camera, or swap to the other thing rather, can I be narcissistic for a second? Can we just like appreciate like what my hair is doing today? Like, look at this. Here, I'll try to get it so it's like right next to some whiteness. Like, look at what this is doing. It's just like, hey, how you doing? I have like an ahoge going on. Anyway, hello and welcome to more Japanese learning. I'm gonna update the stream title. And we're going to do some audio exercises today, as well as some normal other exercises. So, without any further ado, let me get on this headset, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, so lesson 8. Running into an old acquaintance. Miss Martin is about to visit the Nakajimas, her homestay family from 7 years ago, at their home. On the way from the station, she meets Emi Morita, the Nakajima's next door neighbor. That's all the context you need. Here we go.
Lesson 8. Target Dialogue.
マリーさんじゃありませんか？え？エミちゃん？お久しぶりです。マリーさん、いつこちらに？先月から東京で仕事をしているんです。エミちゃん、大きくなりましたね。今中2です。これから塾に行くんです。この辺り、ずいぶん賑やかになりましたね。
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
ここに来るとき、お隣のエミちゃんに会いました。塾に行くと言っていました。日本の子供は大変ですね。
Lesson 8.
There you go. I just realized that you can't really see it. All right, ready?
マリーさんじゃありませんか？え？エミちゃん？お久しぶりです。マリーさん、いつこちらに？先月から東京で仕事をしているんです。エミちゃん、大きくなりましたね。今中2です。
Wait, did she say came to or came from Tokyo?
塾に行く。いつこちらに？先月から東京で仕事をしているんです。エミちゃん、大きくなりましたね。
She came there for work?
いつこちらに？先月から東京で仕事をしているんです。
東京で仕事。
大きくなりました。こちらに？先月から東京で仕事をしているんです。
Last month I came from Tokyo.
エミちゃん、大きくなりましたね。今、エミちゃん、大きくなりましたね。今、先月から東京で仕事をしているんです。エミちゃん、大きくなりましたね。今、中2です。
What is that verb she's using?
先月から東京で仕事をしているんです。
Oshiteru? Oh man, I wish there was like a slow down feature.
仕事をしているんです。エミちゃん、大きくなりましているんです。から東京で仕事をしているんです。エミちゃん、大きくなりましたから東京で仕事をしているんです。エミちゃん、大きくなりましたから東京で仕事をしているんです。
Oshiterun? She's not saying Oshiterun, right? What is she saying here? Sengetsu kara Tokyo de shigoto o shiteirun desu. Oh, she is saying. Okay, she's not. Okay, yeah. Shiteirun. Hey. Swap to Japanese, please. Shiteirun desu. Wait, hold on. Wait, what? Shigoto de. Right, Tokyo de. I think there's some grammar here that I'm not totally familiar with. Sengetsu kara from last month. Tokyo de by means of Tokyo. Shigoto o shite irundas. Is she saying that like since last month she was doing things in Tokyo? Let's see the English translation. I've been working in Tokyo since last month. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be the subject of this lesson, right? Since last month, I've been working in Tokyo.
エミちゃん、大きくなりましたね。今中2です。これから塾に行くんです。この辺り、ずいぶん賑やかになりましたね。エミちゃん、大きくなりましたね。今中2です。これから塾に行くんです。この辺り、ずいぶん賑やかになりましたね。塾に行くんです。今中2です。これから塾に行くんです。
She's going to 10th grade, but she's in middle school? What? I'm in my second year of junior high school now. I'm on my way to JUCO. Oh, JUCO is a thing.
今中2です。これから塾に行くんです。この辺り、ずいぶん今中2です。これから塾に行くんです。
Let's see. Compulsory education in Japan consists of 6 years of elementary school, 3 years of junior high. When talking about a child's year in school, you can use abbreviations such as chuni for chugoku ni nensai, second year student in junior high school. Yeah, so that's what she said. She had chuni. Chuni desu. Kore kara juko ni ikun desu. What is JUCO? JUCO are private after-school cram schools in which children and teenagers study for junior and senior high school and university entrance exams. All right, so there you go. That's a fun thing. I'm on my way to cram school. JUCO. All right, and then this next section where the audio changed between two different voices is because we've changed contexts. Arriving at the Nakajima home, Miss Martin gets into a conversation with her former host mother. All right, so let's ditch this. Though let's make a point to come back to this since last month bit. I just want to make sure. Let's see. Grammar and pattern describing a change in state. When. Plain forms of adjectives. Using direct and indirect quotations. There's a lot of stuff in this chapter. Do they, See, I'm surprised that, doesn't really go into detail on this. The Sengetsu kara Tokyo de shigoto o shite irun desu is interesting, I guess, because I guess it makes sense. Like, shite irun is did and was like existing. Like, iru is like, you know, like was like I was doing work in Tokyo since last month. So okay, yeah. I guess it didn't like click in my brain, I suppose. Anyway, so let's hear about Miss Martin gets into a conversation with her former host mother.
この辺り、ずいぶん賑やかになりましたね。
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
ここに来るとき、お隣のエミちゃんに会いました。塾に行くと言っていました。日本の子供は大変ですね。
Lesson 8. Target dialogue.
Oh wow, that's good. It's I don't know if you can. I don't think you can read it. It's strawberry hibiscus water. That's really good.
マリーさんじゃありましたね。
Okay.
この辺り、ずいぶんにぎや、この辺り、ずいぶんにぎやかになりましたね。
そうで
Is
しょ
that。the beginning?
この辺り、
Yeah.
この辺り、ずいぶんにぎやかになりましたね。
そうです。
Okay, so she's saying whatever atari is. She's saying this thing has become quite busy or like lively. Nigiyaka. Atari?
でしょ。7年
この辺り、ずいぶん、この辺り、ずいぶんにぎやかになりましたね。
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
ここに来るとき、
だいぶ便利になりまして7年前とそうでしょ。7年前と
ね。
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
ここね。
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
ね。
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利に
Tokorabete? Is that what I'm hearing?
7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
Toko. Is Toko anything like time?
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
Arrive Benry? Benry means like convenient. Is she combining it with another
こ
word?
こに来るね。
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
Tokorabete. Is there a hold on, I'm trying not to look at the thing. What is let's see, we have daibun, which is considerably. Tokurabete is compared to. Oh. I'm looking at the vocab section here. So I did hear it right, which is exciting, because that's the first step in being able to learn Japanese, I guess. Is tokurabete is compared to. Let's throw that down there. So armed with that knowledge, in daibu is quite a bit. Daibu is quite a bit. All right, let's listen to it again.
7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
ずいぶんにぎやかになりましたね。
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
ここに来るとき、お隣のエミちゃんに会いました。塾に行くと言っていました。日本の子供は大変ですね。
Wait, am I hearing that right?
この辺り、
Not you.
大きくなりましたね。です。この
Here we
辺
go.
り、ずいぶんにぎやかになりましたね。
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
ここに来るとき、お隣のエミちゃんに会いました。塾に行くと。
So, wait, I should look at the vocab. What did she? Nope. Huh.
この辺り、ずいぶんにぎやかになりましたね。
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
ここに来るとき、お隣のエミちゃんに会いました。塾に行くと言っていました。日本の子供は大変ですね。
Lesson 8.
What word is she saying?
Target dialogue.
ここに
マリーさんじゃありませんか？
来るとき。
あ、エミちゃん？お久しぶりです。マリーさん、いつこちらに？先月から東
Oh wait,
京
I'm
で
looking
仕
the wrong
事をし
thing.
ているんです。
この辺り。
エミちゃん、
Area
大きくなりましたね。今中2です。これから塾に行くんです。
あった。
この辺り、ずいぶん賑やかになりましたね。
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
ここに来るとき、お隣のエミちゃんに会いました。塾に行くと言っていました。日本の子供は大変ですね。
だよ。
ここに来るとき、お隣のエミちゃんに会いました。塾に行くと言っていました。日本
になりましたよ。
ここに来るとき、お隣のエミちゃんに会いました。塾に行くと言っていました。日本の子供は大変ですね。
でしょ。
賑やかになりましたね。
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
ここに来るとき、お隣のエミちゃんに会いました。塾に行くと言っていました。日本の子供は大変ですね。
She's like complimenting on the fact that she's going to cram school, I
なり
think.
ましたね。
そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。
ここに来るとき、お隣のエミちゃんに会いました。塾に行くと言っていました。日本の子供は塾に行くと言っていました。塾に行くと言っていました。塾に行くと言っていました。塾に行くと言っていました。塾に行くと言っていました。塾に行くと言っていました。塾に行くと言っていました。
塾に行った。I mean, I hear some of it, but I'm still confused at the end of it. Like I think I get the gist of it without fully comprehending every bit of it, but
エミちゃんに会いました。塾に行くと言っていました。日本の子供は大変ですね。
塾
Lesson 8 Target Dialogue
行ったい？
マリーさんじゃありません。になるとき、お隣のエミちゃんに会いました。塾に行くと言っていました。
It almost sounds like ikutoy. Like there's like something on the end of this that's like throwing me off.
行くと言っていました。塾に行くと言っていました。
Imashita. That's not what she's saying, right? It is what she's saying. Juku ni iku to itte imashita. Huh. Interesting. So slowly, what she's saying, koko ni kuru toki. So on my way here. Otonari no Emi-chan ni aimashita. So otonari is like the formal form. It's the O is the formal bit, meaning your, and tonari means neighbor. So she's saying your neighbor Emi. I ran into your neighbor, or I met your neighbor Emi. Aimashita means like to meet, like ran into. Juku ni iku to itte imashita. Iku to itte imashita. She said she was going to Juku. So that's the quote grammar that we'll learn. Using to like that to kind of indicate that they said this. And it's not imashita, I was mishearing it. It's ite imashita, like that. Nihon no kodomo wa taihen desu ne. I miss Japanese kids. I'm impressed. It's Japanese kids have it rough, huh? That's funny. On my way here, I ran into Otonari, your neighbor, Emi. She said she was going to cram school. Japanese kids have it rough, huh? That's funny. All right, let's listen to the full thing the whole way. So the first dialogue bit is Miss Martin's about to visit the Nakajimas, and she runs into Emmy. And then when she arrives at the Nakajimas, she talks to her former host mother.
Lesson 8. Target dialogue.
マリーさんじゃありませんか？
え？あ、エミちゃん？
お久しぶりです。マリーさん、いつこちらに？
先月から東京で仕事をしているんです。エミちゃん、大きくなりましたね。
今中2です。これから塾に行くんです。
この辺り、ずいぶんにぎやかになりましたね。そうでしょ。7年前と比べてだいぶ便利になりましたよ。ここに来るとき、お隣のエミちゃんに会いました。塾に行くと言っていました。日本の子供は大変ですね。
Lesson.
So I will say that while I do have the general gist of it here, the 7 years ago wasn't quite this convenient. They do translate it in a bit more of a positive light in the book, where they say it's become much more convenient compared to 7 years ago. So, all right. So let's go over the grammar. So first things first is describing a change in the ability to type. Describing a change in state. So this one's pretty easy. Narimasu means, really don't like how my text editor doesn't always like pick up the fact that I've changed keywords. Narimasu means to become, or get to indicate a state change. And you use it with adjectives in their adverbial form, which we learned in lesson 6, and with nouns followed by ni. So they have some example sentences. For example, koto ya seita ga yasuiku narimashita. Okay, so this one's pretty easy, right? So koto is your coat. Ya is like and, but means that you're kind of saying like this thing and that thing, etc., etc., kind of like encompassing everything, not just saying this and this, but this, that, and the other. So koto ya seita, which is sweater. So coats and sweaters and things, implied by the ya, ga yasuku narimashita. And yasuku is cheap, or is the adverb form of cheap, so it's cheaply. So like literally it's becoming cheap, like becoming cheaply. These two things are Yoda I am. So koto ya seita ga yasuku narimashita, right? So coats and sweaters and such are becoming cheaper. Or rather, I guess I shouldn't say are becoming, it is have become, because it does matter what the tense is, right? So how about another example? Here's a good one. Tenki ga yoku narimashita. So apologies for not using the kanji here, right? But same kind of thing. So tenki is the weather, and yoku is good. So you can kind of already pick up that the weather's gotten better. Feels weird to write gotten, but you know. And then let's kind of roll with the gotten business a bit, and let's talk about how Mai-san wa Nihongo ga Jozu ni narimashita. So this is one you might hear if you study Japanese long enough. So Mary's gotten better at Japanese. Right? So Jozu means skilled. So like you could say has become more skilled at Japanese if you wanted to like translate it a little bit more stiffly. But if you were just going for the meaning of it all, right? Is that Mari, her Japanese is becoming Jozu. Or has become, rather, because we're talking past tense here. Let's see. They also use it, there's two more examples in here. It can also be used for describing like a change in seasons. So, oops, put that in the wrong place. So haru is spring. Haru ni narimashita. Haru is a noun, so you use ni. And it's become this other thing, so it has literally become spring. Right? Like spring has come, the flowers are blooming. It's so exciting. Spring has come. And then lastly, fun fact, sensei is not how you describe like a teacher position, if like it's what you want to do. The occupation of teacher itself is kyoshi. So kyoshi ni naritai desu is saying I want to become a teacher, because tai is like the want form, right? And here's nari, so we're not saying narimashita or anything like that. We're saying that this hasn't happened yet, I want it to happen. Tai, nari tai desu. So there's that. Next grammar point for us to go over real quick is when. So this has to do with toki, when you which kind of modifies things to say that it's like when something happened. For example, the typical one that we have kind of gone over in the past was kodomo no toki. Kodomo no toki, when I was a kid. And you can kind of extend it to other things, which we saw in the dialogue just now, which is what this point is kind of about. So toki means when it's used as a modifier. When the modifier is a verb, its form is one of the plain forms you learned before. So for example, let's change this up. So shinbun, oops, shinbun, which is newspaper. Yomu, here I'll even use the kanji for that this time. Yomu toki, megane o kakemasu. So, and I'm just gonna yomu in here. So, shinbun o yomu toki is when I read the newspaper. Megane o kakemasu. I wear my glasses. So I wear my glasses when I read the newspaper, is how we would probably say it in English, but in Japanese the order can be swapped. You say shinbun o yomu toki megane o kakemasu. So we have some other similar examples, such as I look at a map when I'm lost, which is michi ga. Oh, that's good. Hold on, I'm going to write this one out because I kind of enjoy the literal translations of this one. Michi ga wakaranai toki. Chizu. Oops. Chizu. There it is. Chizu o mimasu. That is funny. Okay, so let me separate things out a little bit. I'll put that in between. So, and their English equivalent here is I look at a map when I'm lost, right? But if we kind of translate this a little bit, or michi ga wakaranai, like literally, like I don't. I don't know / understand the way or the road. Like Michi's road or like the way of something. It's like I literally don't understand my way. Time. The time when I don't understand like the way. Or like when I don't understand the road at all. Chizu o mimasu. I look at a map. I don't know. There's just something fun about like the literal translation there, I think. Let's see. These example sentences are just getting better, I gotta say. So, ashita party ni iku toki. Wine o motekimasu. So this is you being a good friend, a good pal, a good guest. Ashita party. I'm sorry it doesn't even know, but ashita party ni iku toki. So when I go, right? Iku toki. When I go where? When I go to the party tomorrow. Gotta read it backwards. Ashita party ni iku toki. Wine o motekimasu. I will bring wine with me to the party tomorrow. Like that's a good guess. I will bring a bottle of wine. That's not really implied, but I'll bring wine when I go to the party tomorrow. So like it's interesting how like it's like almost the exact reverse when you're like looking at all the pieces of everything and whatnot. English, Japanese, crazy world we live in. All right, and then last one. This one's good. It's too bad that I don't want. There we go. For whatever reason, it wasn't really giving me the thing. Okay. So, okay, can you read the sentence yet and figure out why I'm laughing at it? All right, so let me help explain why I think this is funny. So, kyonen, last year, right? So last year something happened. Doitsu ni ita toki. So when I went to Germany last year, Doitsu is Germany. Ita, we're in the past. So when I went, and we know we're also in the past by a whole year because of kyonen. Biru o takusan nomimashita. What did I do when I was in Germany a year ago? I drank a lot of beer. As you do. Okay. And all of the example sentences that we just went through were all kind of, except for this one, we're all mainly in the past tense, right? And they make a point about how the meaning of the sentence differs depending on which tense, present or past, you use before toki. And then they kind of bring in this interesting example that I spent a lot of time talking to my classmates about before. So let's, come on, don't do that to me. Toki and tense. The toki tense. So their example sentence that they have here. I'm horribly misspelling things right now. Nihon ni kuru toki kuko de kaimashita. Wait, what? I bought a school? What? Oh wait, I'm stupid. Kuko is not a... Oh, that's an airport. Or a plane, sorry. A plane? Let's see. When I came to Japan, I bought it at the airport. Is what they say. So, actually I was right. Yeah, kuko de. So kuko is an airport. De means you did something at this thing before it, or like something happened here, and we bought it. So we bought something. Nihon ni kuru toki, which is when I came to Japan. Okay, and that's using the past or the present tense. When I came to Japan, I bought it at the airport. Huh? Oh, I'm still in the wrong. When I came to Japan, I bought it at the airport. And they have like this interesting thing around like, i.e. on my way to Japan. On my way to Japan, I bought it at the airport. That's how they translate this. But then they also have this. Nihon ni kutta. Yeah, go on, stop it. Sorry, kita. Kita toki. Kuko de. Yeah, kuko de kaimashita. Which this one changes things a little bit. Which again, when I came to Japan, I bought it at the airport. So the other thing that they have here is that like the implication here that they're kind of hammering with a lot of like parentheses and things here is that the airport in this sentence is outside of Japan, while the airport in this sentence is inside Japan. Right? Subtle difference, but it's there. And they say, when the tense before toki is present, as in the first example, the action in the temporal clause, the clause that has toki in it, has not been completed when the action in the main sentence takes place. On the other hand, if the tense before toki is past, as in the second example, it means that the action in the temporal clause has been completed at the moment the action in the main sentence occurs. Okay, so put another way, if this verb that's attached to toki is in the present, then it means that this isn't done yet.
Okay, so we're not in Japan yet, but this is happening, or this happened. Okay, so we bought something and we're not in Japan yet. The time hasn't quite come yet. But then if the plain form of the verb is in the past, it means that the action in the temporal clause has been completed at the moment the action in the main sentence occurs, which means that since this is in the past, kita toki, it means that this completed when we did this. They both happened at the same time. So kuko de kaimashita, I bought this at the same time as when I arrived in Japan, or when I came to Japan. So that's why the airport changes. And I find this really confusing. Like just at a brief glance when you're thinking like, oh, past tense, present tense, etc. It feels a little bit funny that like if the temporal clause, this whole bit, is in the present, then it means that it's not done yet. I mean, maybe it makes sense, but I don't know. It's a little bit funny, right? It's because it means that like since this is in the past, this already happened. Well, this hasn't finished yet. It makes me think of programming and like staring at like complicated logic. Anyway, so they have a bunch of examples here that I really don't want to do because all this stuff really makes my brain hurt. But we got to practice, right? So we're going to do at least run. So read the sentence aloud while considering their meanings. So this is a name. Oh, whoops, I'm not in Japanese keyboard mode. So, Suzuki-san. Oops, not me. Wa yoku Shinkansen de Osaka ni ikimasu. Oops. Okay. So this is pretty normal, right? So Suzuki-san is he's hopping on the Shinkansen, or he's taking it to Osaka. Right. That's fine. That's whatever. And then actually we're gonna have to read more than one thing here. So this is a story that we have going on here. So Suzuki gets on the Shinkansen, right? And then another thing happens. Shinkansen ni noru toki itsumo biru o kaimasu. Okay, so now we're going to get into some temporal clauses. Shinkansen ni noru toki itsumo biru o kaimasu. This man's living life on the edge here. So this is just silly. It's now that Suzuki often rides the Shinkansen to Osaka, is what that first sentence says, right? Yoku Shinkansen de Osaka ni ikimasu. He often rides the Shinkansen to Osaka. It's the verb is not rides, but that's how we would say it in English, right? He often goes to Osaka via the Shinkansen. Shinkansen ni noru toki. So here's our temporal clause, which is in the present, right? Which means that this has yet to complete before this happens. Itsumo biru. Excuse you. You should be in katakana. Thank you. Itsumo biru o kaimasu. Also. So, kaimasu means to buy. So, he always buys a beer before he gets on the Shinkansen. Before getting on the Shinkansen, he always buys a beer. Or, like, he typically buys a beer, whichever one you want to say. It's roughly the same thing. And you can see this in the picture right here. See our little lad? I remember this story, so I got more excited about translating 10 sentences. So, Kino mo Shinkansen ni noru toki baiten biru o kaimashita. Sorry, I had an itch on my nose. Okay. So, also, like yesterday as well, Shinkansen ni noru toki. So yesterday, like when he was getting on the Shinkansen, or when he was riding the Shinkansen yesterday as well, baiten biru o kaimashita. So they also, vocab wise, baiten is a stall or a kiosk, and he bought a beer, right? So yesterday, while riding the Shinkansen, or I guess Kino mo Shinkansen ni noru. Yeah. Yesterday, before riding the Shinkansen, he bought a beer at the stall. Yep. Or at the kiosk. At the vendor. And there's a cute little beer vendor here. See, there they are, doing their thing. Shinkansen ni notta toki biru o otoshimashita. This is now becoming a sadder story, okay? But we're learning about temporal clauses, damn it, so you better be happy. So, Shinkansen notta toki. So now, rather than the past tense, it's now in the, or sorry, rather than the present tense, it's now the past tense. Biru o otoshimashita. And unfortunately, otoshimashita means that he dropped it. That second picture down. But more importantly, the action in the temporal clause has been completed at the moment the action in the main clause occurred, is what the book says, right? So notta toki is in the past tense, which means that this happened at the same time as this. So biru o otoshimashita, I dropped my beer while I was doing this, while I was boarding the Shinkansen. While boarding the Shinkansen, he dropped his beer. Sad day. Biru o irote seki ni suwarimashita. 席に座りました. Now this implies that I know what some of this stuff means. Let's see. Hirote is to pick up. So he's picking up. So he picked up his beer, and then he went to his seat. So seki is his seat, and suwarimashita or suwatte is how you would sit down. So there he is. We got a two-parter in the second one. You can see he dropped his beer in the second picture, but in the third one he picks it up and then he takes his seat. Picked up his beer and sat down. Sugu biru. Sugu biru o nomitaku narimashita. If that's the right kanji. Nomitaku narimashita. So he became thirsty. Okay. So soon, Sugu, biru o nomitaku narimashita. So this goes back to our whole adjective business and whatnot. So nomitaku means he's becoming thirsty, right? You probably recognize nomu and nonde and those kind of things as like to drink, and nomitaku is to be thirsty. So soon he was thirsty, or he became thirsty for his beer. So he wanted to drink it. He became thirsty, okay? Then biru o okeru toki skoshi shinpai denshita. Okay, so we got another toki clause, another temporal action going on here. Biru o okeru toki. Okeru. I think. Oh, sorry. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, my bad. I wrote the. I saw the wrong thing. Akeru. So, open, right? So, again, present tense means that this happened, or this hasn't happened yet, right? This is me getting confused, but let me make sense. Yes, it has not been completed yet for this. So, skoshi shinpei deshita. So he's being careful, he's worried, he's a little bit nervous about this. Biru akeru toki. So he's opening his beer. He's a little nervous. How do I translate this? When he was opening his beer, he was a little nervous. You can see him. He's a little nervous, as you can see in that picture, right? He's like gingerly opening it at the very bottom there because he dropped it. He knows that it's dangerous. Biru o aketa toki ... Suzuki-san wa Osaka made tottemo samukatta desu. So, Suzuki-san wa Osaka made tottemo samukatta desu. He became cold. Do you know why he became cold? Exactly what you thought was going to happen happened. He opened the beer and oh gosh, it's everywhere. And then he became cold. So, and again, the temporal clause, right, is in the past, which means that it happened at the exact same time as this. So he got wet and became cold, basically. When Suzuki opened the beer, he ended up being cold all the way to Osaka because the beer spilled all over him. And then lastly, oh, that's why. Spelling Osaka wrong. Osaka. Osaka ni suita toki kaze o hitemashita. The poor guy. This is the last picture in our thing. Sorry, it's probably hard to see, but you can see he's sneezing in this because he got a cold. Osaka ni suita toki kaze o hitemashita. So he caught a cold on the way to Osaka. He caught a cold. And because, again, this is in the past, suita, in the past tense, it means that this happened at the same time as this. So they happened right alongside each other. Kaze o hiteimashita. So that's the tragedy of Suzuki, the beer drinking man on the Shinkansen. He buys beer, he drops beer, he picks up beer, he holds beer, he gets nervous about the beer, he gets splashed by the beer, he's cold, and he catches one. And now we are all better at using or understanding the toki in the temporal clause and what happens when it's in the plain past versus the plain versus the plain present. So things happen at the same time. This thing happened before or it has not yet completed. Okay. Let's see. Plain forms of adjectives and nouns. Kind of I've already gone over this before, I think. Like it is semi-new, but I think I'll skip that part for now. There's really nothing to talk about at all, really. It's mainly just like using des or deshta or those kind of things with na adjectives. Nouns also conjugate the same way. Nouns and na adjectives conjugate the exact same way for the plain forms where you use des or like dewa arimasen and those kind of things. E adjectives also change a bit for their plain forms. Like oishi versus oishi desu or oishikunai versus oshikunai desu. Notice the pattern here. Oishikatta versus oishikatta desu. So the plain form just drops the des, basically. But there was one other piece of grammar that was definitely worth going over, which we saw in the initial conversation with Emmy, right? Or not with Emmy, with Marie. and Marie talking to Nakajima about something Emmy said and quoting her, right? So this gets into using direct and indirect quotations. So, book says, you use to iteimashita to report what someone said in both direct and indirect quotation. In direct quotations, you use in place of quotation marks. They have fun little lines. You probably can't see it, but I swear they're there. Actually, you can kind of see it. See the little upside down L's. Whatnot. So the main point to take away those, the to, hey, is the to iteimashita. So let's see some examples, right? So Hayashi-san wa I don't actually know how to make a Japanese quote. Oh, there we go. They use the brackets. Fun. That was a lucky guess. Tokyo ni ikimasu. To iteimashita. Right? So this is literally Mr. Hayashi said, I will go to Kyoto. Oh, I wrote Tokyo. The example was Kyoto. I just, I wrote the wrong thing. Anyway, but this is a direct quote, right? So, Hayashi-san wa Tokyo ni ikimasu to iteimashita. So, to iteimashita is how you say that they said that. Like literally like, and their words were this, basically. For indirect quotes, Hayashi-san wa, they're still using Kyoto as their thing. I'm gonna keep using Tokyo. Tokyo ni sorry, I lost my place. Ikuto. Eat. Why is it so hard to get eat to be the correct thing when you're not using it? Sorry, 1 second. Tokyo ni ikuto. Oh, that's why. To ite. So, how does this differ? Ikuto. Doesn't really change a lot, does it? But there is a slight difference, which is very subtle and kind of gets back in, so sort of what we were just doing, right? So in the direct quote, we said ikimasu. But in the indirect quote, we didn't. We said iku to iteimashita. So we put to go, or ikimasu, into the plain form. Iku to iteimashita. And that makes it so it's an indirect quote. In indirect quotation, use plain forms for the part quoted. Okay, and then they similar. We're still talking indirect quotes. Tokyo ni ita to iteimashita. All right, you can probably see that something changed again, right? It's still an indirect quote. But you use imashita instead of iteimashita when you want to emphasize the fact that someone said something rather than the content of what they said. Did they give an example of that, actually? No, they don't. They just wanted to make a note of it. So, the main difference between these two indirect quotes is the tense, right? Which is iku to iteimashita. Mr. Hayashi said he would go. Hasn't happened yet. He will go. He'll do this presently. Versus Hayashi-san wa Tokyo ni ita to iteimashita. Which is Mr. Hayashi said he went. This is now in the past form, right? So he said he went to Tokyo. And also, while we're using the quotes around, like, you know, he said this, he said this, he said this, we don't just have to use that. We get more examples. Specifically, we have things like Hayashi-san wa Tokyo ni iku to omoimasu, which means to think, right? And this one kind of has an implied meaning, or some implied words as well, which is basically saying that I think I think Hayashi-san will go to Tokyo. Oh boy, katakana. Peace eater. Totemo. Oh god, kanji I can't read. To. I know this kanji. I recognize these kanjis. I've seen them before. But what they mean is not helpful. I do like that you managed to get my name in there. Katakana. The Shinsetsu is Shinsetsu to kikimashita. You heard that Pete Caesar is kind. Or did you say? Yeah, you said that it was very kind. Oh, thanks. I trying to spread the love of Japanese, I guess. But yeah, that's another way to use it though, right? Is oh, that's right, those are ears, the little kikimashita. You heard that. So yeah, in the same way that we can say to omoimasu, I heard, or sorry, I think this, we can also say I heard this. So like if we did if we just used our cool example sentence again, it's like Hayashi-san wa Tokyo ni ita. Let's swap it around again. Ita to kikimashita would be I heard that Hayashi-san went to Tokyo. Right? Let's see. And grammar wise, let's see, they also have things around to say, I don't think to say I don't think, you negate it. But the weird thing is that you don't negate the verb around like you thinking, right? So Hayashi-san wa to Yushu. Man, when you mistype in the Japanese keyboard and whatnot, it just throws everything off. I feel like Japanese drunk texts must be a thing to behold with like how messed up they probably look. Hayashi-san Tokyo ni ikanai to omoimasu. So, wait, how did I get that instead of to? Hey, swap my keyboard back. Anyway, so this one, right, is I don't think that Hayashi will go to Tokyo. And like the weird and interesting thing about this is that the nai form, like negating wise, goes on to the verb inside like the thing that's happening. So like Hayashi-san wa Tokyo no ni Hayashi-san wa Tokyo ni ikanai. He's not going there. To omoimasu. Right? So like you still think this? I think that he won't go. So like it makes sense when you say it like that, but the way that like in English you would say, I don't think that Hayashi-san will go to Tokyo. Like it doesn't line up because in like English brain you're probably thinking, oh, omoimasen, but that's not correct. It probably means something very different. Logically speaking, what would it mean? Like I don't think that Hayashi-san didn't go to Tokyo. So, does it negate itself? Let's see. Tomoimasu is the phrase. Okay. So they point out tomoimasu is the phrase to use when expressing your opinion or asking another person theirs. To state what a third person thinks, you use to omoiteimasu, to be studied in book 3. So that they don't get into that in here apparently. But they do give an example sentence of, our department manager thinks Mr. Hayashi will go to Tokyo. Or to Kyoto actually is what they use. I've just been using Tokyo because, you know, whatever. Bucho wa Hayashi-san wa Tokyo ni ikuto omoiteimasu. So really the only thing that changes is like what they said it would change, where it goes into the to omoiteimasu, and they also kind of specify that the department manager, the bucho, right? Cool. And that's direct and indirect quotations. And then really the only thing left is that they've got some audio exercises. I might save those. Yeah, they're pretty small though. Yen, did you catch the tragedy of Suzuki-san on the Shinkansen with his beer? Or were you away during that? Because it was good. It was going into a rather strange and interesting grammar bit around when and using the Toki stuffs. You were on mute. Oh man, it was good. I don't want to retype it all, but because it's 10 sentences, and but it does help drill in how temporal clauses work. Actually, here it is. The magic of undo. So just real quick. So toki intense, where so you have two clauses in a sentence. So Nihon ni kuru toki kuki de kaimashita. So when the temporal clause, this bit, is in the plain form, just the present plain form, it means that this thing right here hasn't happened yet. This happened before this. So in this case, it means that on your way to Japan, you bought something at an airport, but the thing that you bought at the airport was outside of Japan because you weren't there yet. Versus Nihon ni kita toki, so this is now in the past plain form. Kuki de kaimashita, I bought something. And this is when I came to Japan, I bought it at the airport, which means that when it's the past tense for the temporal clause, it means this happened at the same time as this. So I got to the airport and I also bought, or sorry, I came to Japan and I also bought this thing at the airport. So they happened at the same time. And so these contrived examples about airports are easy to forget. But when we go over the journey of Suzuki and all of his cute little pictures, there he is starting off, where every day Suzuki often rides the Shinkansen to Osaka. And before he gets on, so noru toki, here's that present tense form of the temporal clause. So when he's getting on the Shinkansen, but before he does, he buys a beer. Yesterday, he also was riding the Shinkansen, right? Noru toki. And he was at the stall for buying beer, and he bought a beer before he got on. Shinkansen ni notta toki. So now we're in the past tense, meaning that both of these things happened at the same time. Biru o watashimashita. He dropped his beer. And we have a lovely picture of this. You could make this into like a really bad adult picture book. But there he is buying his beer at the stand. Then he dropped his beer. Biru o hirotte seki ni suwarimashita. So he picked up his beer after he dropped it, and then he got into a seat. Sugu biru o nomitaku narimashita. But soon he was like, oh man, I'm getting thirsty. All this sitting is really taking it out of me. Biru akeru toki. So he's going to open his beer, but it hasn't happened yet because we're in the plain present tense. Skoshi shinpai deshita. So he was a little bit nervous about opening his beer, as you can see in this lovely picture of him getting nervous. Biru aketa toki ... So this is happening at the same time as this because we're in the past tense in the temporal clause. Suzuki-san wa Osaka made tottemo samukatta desu. He became very wet and very cold on his way to Osaka because his beer spilled all over him, as you can see. Osaka ni suita toki kaze o hitemashita. And then he caught a cold and started sneezing everywhere. So, suita toki, past tense temporal clause, means that it's happening at the same time as this. Kaze o hite. So, on his way over to Or on the way to Osaka, he caught a cold. That is the tragedy of Suzuki. Sad, right? Alright. I don't really know why I'm bothering to redo and whatnot, but you never know. Excuse me. Let's listen to stuff now. So, speaking practice. Talking about a change that has come over an area of town. This place ain't big enough for the two of us.
Lesson 8. Practice
49.
1. Speaking Practice 1.
この辺り、7年前は畑でしたよね。ええ、3年前に駅ができてから急にマンションや住宅が増えたんです。白くて大きい建物は何ですか？コミュニティセンターですよ。去年できたんです。
Lesson 8. Practice 1. Speaking Practice 1.
この辺り、7年前は畑でしたよね。ええ、3年前に駅ができてから急にマンションや住宅が増えたんです。白くて大きい建物は何ですか？コミュニティセンターですよ。去年できたんです。
Lesson 8. Practice 1. Speaking Practice 1.
この辺り、7年前は畑でしたよね。
畑で
3
した？
年前に。
Hatake? Yep, hatake. Which means vocab. Hatake. Field. Field or patch is what that is. Hatake. What the heck? Japanese keyboard, please. It's like the moment you no longer have a single Japanese character, it just decides to default back to English even when you swap the keyboards. It's really annoying. Hatake. A field or a patch.
Lesson 8. Practice 1. Speaking Practice 1.
この辺り、7年前は畑でしたよね。ええ、3年前に駅ができてから急にマンションや住宅が増えたんです。白くて大きい建物は何ですか？コミュニティセンターですよ。去年できたんです。
去年。
Lesson 8. Practice 1.
They built it this year.
Speaking Practice 1.
この辺り、7年前は畑でしたよね。ええ、3年前に駅ができてから急にマンションや住宅が増えたんです。白くて大きい建物は何ですか？コミュニティセンターですよ。去年できたんです。
Lesson 8.
That one word,
Practice 1.
I don't know it.
Speaking Practice 1.
この辺り、7年前は畑でしたよね。ええ、3年前に駅ができてから急にマンションや住宅が増えたんです。
I think I actually like recently was studying the kanji for this and being surprised about it. The Jew thing, like, because I remember being surprised at it. Where's the 3年前に Oh, did I mishear the name? It's only 3 years, not 7.
この辺り、7年前は畑でしたよね。ええ、3年前に駅ができてから急にマンションや。
Yeah. So, and she's saying kara then it's like, so she's saying because they built. 3 years ago, because they built a station, the train station, I suppose.
駅ができてから急にマンションや住宅が増えたんです。
急にマンション。いや、急にマンションや住宅が増えたんです。増えたん means Fueru is increase. Fueru. That's my tongue did something weird the first time I said that. Fueru. So fuetandas. So it increased. And Kyuni. You? I don't think the Q means 9 in this case. Trying to find. Kyuni means suddenly or dramatically. They built a station. Manchanya Juta. And Juta is housing. Jutaku is housing. So Jutaku ga fuetandas means that the number of houses increased. So apartment club. So housing and apartment complexes suddenly increased. So like, I think the implication here, right, is the number of Hanenmaini. Because they built a train station, all of a sudden, a bunch of houses and apartment complexes sprung up.
白くて大きい建物は何ですか？コミュニティセンターですよ。去年できたんです。
Lesson 8. Practice 1. Speaking practice 1.
Am I getting messed up? Kyonen versus Koto last year. Kyonen's last year, not this year.
3年前に駅ができてから急にマンションや住宅が増えたんです。白くて大きい建物は何ですか？コミュニティセンターですよ。去年できたんです。
And also probably like the other important thing to kind of take away from all this is like, I know it because we've gone over it before, but Dekita, which like literally, you know, it's like like normally when you hear like Dekiru, it's like I can do it. They mean they built it. Like they made it. They could have done this. They've done it.
Practice 1.
I don't really know if it's a different kanji. I assume it probably is, maybe.
この辺り7年前は畑でしたよね。3年前に駅ができてから急にマンションや住宅が増えたんです。白く
They
て
don't
大きい
use the
建物
kanji
は
for this
何
in
で
this
すか？
case. So.
コミュニティセンターですよ。去年できたんです。
Lesson 8.
But,
Practice 1.
yeah. So that's that. That's like a really small thing. The only other thing that I want to point out is when she's describing the community center, that she is she's doing it pretty quick, right? But she is conjugating the adjectives together to indicate that like they both apply. She says community center desu yo. Wait, sorry, not that one. Sorry. Shirukute oki. So, and let me write it out just in case my you know, my words aren't doing it properly. Shirokute oki. So like Shiro, I'm annoyed that it didn't there. Shiro is white, right? Like the adjective for white or the color white. And so Shirokute is like combining it with the next thing. So it's white and big. Shirokute. Shirokute oki. Totemo no nandesu ka. And also like she doesn't say building at all either. So she says, what's that big one? What's that big white one over there? She says Shirokute oki Tademo. No, non-deska. I might as well just finish the sentence off and add ano in there. What is that large white building over there? Tatemo. Oh, apparently tatemono is building. So my bad, she does say building. I'm used to biru for building, not to be confused with biru, which is beer. Tademono. Which I feel like must be a very generic term for building because mono is just thing. So tademono. Oh, sorry, it's not de. My bad. It's tate. Tatemono. Let's listen to her say it.
Speaking practice 1.
この辺り、7年前は畑でしたよね。
ええ、3年前に駅ができてから急にマンションや住宅が増えたんです。
白くて大きい建物は何ですか？
コミュニティセンターですよ。去年で。
So, cool. And then this one's real short. Being relieved to see that a park one once knew is still the same old park.
Lesson 8. Practice 1. Speaking practice 2.
この公園は変わっていませんね。
ええ、木も池も昔のままです。
よかった。
Super short.
Lesson 8. Practice 1. Speaking practice 2.
この公園は変わっていませんね。
ええ、木も池も昔のままです。
よかった。
Lesson 8. Practice 1. Speaking practice 2.
この公園は変わっていませんね。
ええ、木も池も昔のままです。
よかった。
I
Lesson
don't know
8.
what she's saying here.
Practice 1. Speaking
Chemo.
practice 2.
Park. Tree. Gotcha.
この公園は変わっていませんね。
ええ、木も池も昔のままです。
よかった。
Lesson 8. Practice 1. Speaking practice 2.
この公園は変わっていませんね。
ええ、木も池も昔のままです。
よかった。
Yeah, there's vocab here that you
Lesson
need.
8.
Otherwise,
Practice
it's kind of
1.
hard.
Speaking practice 2.
So,
この公園は変わっていませんね。
ええ、木も池も昔のままです。
よかった。
oh, she says ki,
Lesson
which
8.
is tree.
Practice
She
1.
also says
Speaking practice 2.
ike,
この公園は変わっていませんね。
ええ、
which is a pond.
木も池も昔のままです。
よかった。
She says
Lesson
mukashi,
8. Practice 1.
which means
Speaking practice 2.
like long ago,
この公園は変わっていませんね。
back in the day.
ええ、木も池も昔のままです。
よかった。
Lesson 8.
And then she finishes
Practice
off with no
Speaking
mama
practice
does.
2.
この公園は変わっていませんね。
ええ、木も池も昔のままです。
よかった。
Lesson 8. Practice 1. Speaking practice 2.
So,
この公園は変わっていませんね。
ええ、木も池も昔のままです。
よかった。
so then she says
Lesson 8.
the trees
Practice 1.
and the
Speaking
pond
practice 2.
are just as they were
この公園は
back in
変
the
わって
day.
いませんね。
ええ、木も池も昔のままです。
よかった。
Mukashe no mama desu.
Lesson 8.
Not to be confused with insulting someone's mom, but no mama desu is just as it was. Just like yo mama. It's so rhythmic though. Like, isn't it fun to listen to her say that?
8.
この公園は変わっていませんね。
ええ、木も池も昔のままです。
よか
I don't know. I think it's like pleasantly rhythmic the way that she speaks. Kimo ekemo mukashi no mama desu. Right. There is another one, but I think I'm gonna not bother with it. Because it's two friends greeting each other who haven't seen each other in a long time. So they go, you know, the usual hisashiburi. And apparently it's been 20 years since they've seen each other, and they just talk about work, which, like, I'm good. I'm okay. Not dealing with that for now. And that is it for this chapter, really. Like, besides that one speaking practice thing that I'm skipping for now, they have a reading task that I haven't been assigned yet, so I'm not going to do it until next week. Actually, they have 2 reading tasks, which is a lot of work. And then there's kanji practice. Dun, da, 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 dun, dun, da, 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 dun, dun, da, 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 dun. There they all are. And then lesson 9, which goes on about modifying clauses. So next time, I suppose next week, assuming that my Japanese class gets that far, we'll go over joining a civic orchestra. Very fun. Forming modifying clauses, such as saying the company card, or a cute child, or a kind person. As well as nominalizing sentences, which means to turn it into a noun clause using the particle no, which means you can say things like work ends at around 7, or I like jogging in the morning, or I'm waiting for Mr. Mills to get here. And that's it mostly. As far as grammar goes and those kind of things, it's not too much. It's a fairly short chapter next time, it looks like. And yeah, so that's the plan there. So that's it for that. So I'm done with this for now, but I am not completely done, I don't think, because I kind of want to play a fun game for you all. That I played this weekend and beat it. So I'm already done with it, which means I won't feel any sort of obligation, I guess, to to keep going with it, besides just playing it for like a half hour to just enjoy for a little bit. Let me boot the game up. Just have to wait and swap things around.